Hey guys, Fletch the Football Observer here, and today's video is going to be another transfer talking video. We're going to round up some of the biggest rumours and some of the biggest dealings from the past 24 hours or so. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. Either way, let's get into it. For our first story, we're heading to the Bundesliga, where yesterday Mats Hummels, now formerly of Bayern Munich, completed a switch move to Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, Dortmund was his former club and now is his current club as well. And Mats Hummels' career was actually quite interesting. He's constantly flip-flopped between these two sides. He obviously began his career with Bayern Munich before leaving them in 2009 in favour of Dortmund. And then, of course, he left Dortmund in 2016 for a return to Bayern. And on his return, he's won 3 Bundesliga titles and a German League Cup. And of course, he leaves them now with Bayern completing the domestic double, or treble if you include the German version of the Community Shield they call the DFL Super Cup. So he's actually had quite a successful run with Bayern Munich. But of course, now the 30-year-old has returned to Dortmund. A side that he won 2 Bundesliga titles with, of course. And he's looking to really bring his experience and ability back to a Dortmund side that will be looking to overthrow their rivals and obviously Hummels' former club Bayern for the Bundesliga title next season. Dortmund obviously will be disappointed, having led the way for the majority of this season, and it just sort of, their season kind of fell away towards the end, which ultimately cost him the league title. So he'll be looking to be a part of, hopefully, again, another title push for the next campaign. And I see this move as a slight role reversal, to be honest, because this is between two teams that have had set ways in the way they conduct their transfer business. And especially between themselves as well, it's also interesting, because normally it's Bayern taking players off of Dortmund's hands, but not in this instance. And the way I talked about their approach to transfer dealings, normally Bayern are the ones that are buying the already established players, whereas Dortmund normally buy them at a young age and grow them and mould them into becoming bigger and better before they're then sold on because bigger teams come in for them. So it's an interesting change of approach by both teams as we'll go on, because Bayern are definitely changing their transfer approach for this year and beyond. Our next story, we are with the Premier League, and this one concerns Manchester City and Kyle Walker. Yesterday, Kyle Walker signed a contract extension with the club. Walker's original deal ran out in 2022, but yesterday he signed on the dotted line for a further 2 years. That will supposedly keep him at the Etihad till 2024. Walker's 29 years old. He signed for City back in 2017 and has since gone on to make 100 appearances for City, scoring 2 goals and assisting 8 times. And of course, during his time with City, he's gone on to win back-to-back Premier League titles, an FA Cup, 2 League Cups, along with a Community Shield. And I think we can all can agree the Community Shield in that resume of accomplishments is definitely the most important. Protecting their investment, that's all I can see this from City, is protecting their investment. On a personal thing, I've always found Kyle Walker to be very suspect defensively. I don't think he's as great defensively as what people give him credit for, and I think if he was in any other team that wasn't as dominant as what City are, I think we'd see that more often. I've often questioned whether he was actually good enough to play for City originally. My eyebrows were certainly raised when Tottenham sold him for 50 million. I was surprised they got 50 million for him. And I often think, would he be playing for City if he weren't English and didn't have a lot of pace? That was the one thing about Walker that was always said about him. He always had a lot of pace. So I questioned it, but hey, that's just my opinion. The real news here is that Kyle Walker has signed a 2-year contract extension with Manchester City. Talking of players signing contract extensions, it brings us to our next story, and we cross from the blue half of Manchester to the red half for this one, as Juan Mata yesterday signed a contract extension with Manchester United. Mata's original contract was set to expire at the end of this month, meaning he would have been a free agent had United not negotiated this extension. Mata signed for United back in 2014 from Chelsea and had gone on to make 218 appearances, scoring 45 goals and assisting 37 times. And the way I see this is, given all the players that United have been linked with early on in this transfer window, they've only signed one player from all them players that have been linked, but this is technically a sort of signing of sorts. It's a little fortunate that no one else came in to turn his head. Mata's only 31, still probably got a couple of years left in him, and probably could have been picked up by a mid-table Premier League club, but United can consider themselves a little bit fortunate to have managed to keep him, having had his contract run down so much. He's a fan favourite at the club from what I can tell, and I'm sure he will go on to be a big part of Solskjaer's and Manchester United's season for the next campaign. For our next story, we're crossing to Goodison Park, and this one concerns Andre Gomez, who is expected to complete a permanent move to Everton sometime within the next 24 hours. The fee negotiated between Everton and Barcelona is believed to be somewhere in the region of £22 million. Gomez, of course, was the subject of much speculation this summer already, most notably attracting the interest of the likes of West Ham and Tottenham, but it seems that the Toffees have won the race to sign him. I say sign him permanently, of course, as well, because as you'll all know, Gomez spent last season on loan at Goodison Park, where he made quite the impression. He instantly became a fan favourite with the club, and that was down to his consistently good performances. In the 29 appearances that he made for the Toffees in all competitions last year, he was a consistently good performer, well raved about, and of course now it looks as if his permanent signing is imminent. Of course, on the Barcelona side of things, this signing, when it's all confirmed, will be the first major name to be leaving the new camp this summer in what's said to be Barcelona's way of a big summer clear out, as the Spanish club look to shake things up in their squad, as of course they're looking to bring in some big players of their own. So they're looking to bring in some big players to fill the gaps that several players are going to leave. Everton look to have got their man on a permanent deal. Everything seems to be running like clockwork in this transfer window. And for our final story, we're heading back to Manchester, and it's Manchester City where this story takes us, as they have possibly identified their first signing of the summer. And that potential signing could come in the form of Rodri. Rodri is a defensive midfielder, which is a position that we all know Pep Guardiola has been looking to strengthen and add to for some time. It's been no secret that he's been wanting to give Fernandinho some competition for that role for the immediate future, and then of course he wants that signing to go on and replace the Brazilian in the long term, as he is 34 years old. Rodri will be turning 23 in a couple of days' time himself, and he's currently playing his football for Atletico Madrid. But it's been reported that earlier in this transfer window, he did actually request to Atletico that he wishes to leave the Spanish club this summer. Rodri has a buyout clause of £62.5 million, which Manchester City have reportedly told Atletico they are willing to meet. And if the deal does eventually come off, it will be a deal that would see City break their own transfer record, which currently stands at the £60 million fee that saw Riyad Mahrez be brought to the Etihad last summer. There's only one slight problem City could face, and that is the fact that reportedly Bayern Munich are also interested in the Spaniard's signature, so possibly Rodri is caught in a tug-of-war between the English and the German clubs. Rodri made 47 appearances in all competitions last year for Atletico, scoring 3 goals and assisting just the once. But when you're being in a tug-of-war between the Premier League champions and the Bundesliga title champions, you know you're definitely going to be one to watch this summer. And that wraps up this latest episode of Transfer Talk. But guys, I want to know what you think. What do you think of any of the stories that I've talked about in today's episode? I'd love to read your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Both things will be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all for watching and listening. I've been Fletch, the Football Observer. This has been another episode of Transfer Talk, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.